This afternoon, the Fighting Illini of Illinois wraps up their non-conference schedule, and D. Brown welcomes back his old partner, Darren Williams, into the fold. All in Champaign, Illinois. It's the home of the Fighting Illini, and this afternoon, it's the Missouri Valley Conference taking a shot at the Big Ten as Illinois State takes on Illinois. Hi, everybody. Alongside former Illinois sharpshooter Doug Altenberger, I'm Mike Gleason. It's great to have you with us today. Hopefully your New Year's is off to a great start. And, Doug, speaking of solid starts, Darren Williams had one going for Illinois before he got his jaw broken. The good news, he's expected to see some action here today.
Yeah, and Illinois, in order to get going in the Big Ten, they need to be at full strength. And with Darren Williams coming tonight after taking a severe blow earlier in the season, right here he gets hit hard. He'll be playing with a broken jaw still. It will be wired shut. They expect 15 to 20 minutes of play out of him. Look for him to try to get his legs, get his rhythm back offensively, and get it going for the Big Ten.
And, Doug, for Illinois State, this is their second trip in 3 years inside Assembly Hall. If they have any shot at the upset today, they need some scoring from a 6'8 sophomore from Chicago by the name of Marcus Arnold.
Yeah, and they need to get this guy going. He's their best athlete on the team. Get the ball down in the paint area. When things get going for them offensively, they need his touches inside. Everything flows through him. Expect for the big man for Illinois to have a challenge defensively, stepping up and trying to stop this guy.
Roger Powell's averaging 14 points a game for the Fighting Illini. His dad averaged 19 one year back in the early 70s for Illinois State. This afternoon, the kid gets a shot at Dad's alma mater. Today's ESPN Plus game is brought to you by Prairie Farms Ice Cream. Taste the homemade goodness of Prairie Farms. And by Balance Pro, the power of recharge. Welcome back to Assembly Hall. Let's take a look at the Prairie Farm starting lineups. First of all, for Illinois State, of course, Marcus Arnold is their leading scorer, but keep an eye open for Trey Guidry, NC State transfer. He can really light it up. He struggled in his last game, however. And, of course, you look at Augustine, Powell, Randall, Head, and Brown, Doug. I guess if there's one thing Coach Weber's had, it's consistency, as Darren Williams awaits. Not quite ready for the starting lineup yet, but he is chomping at the bits, no pun intended, chomping at the bit to get back on the floor. And this basketball game controlled by the Fighting Illini, and it's underway. D. Brown with the basketball. Probably
Illinois State coming out into a man-to-man.
And the Fighting Illini averaging about 15.7 turnovers a game. So 16, I guess a coach would like to see that closer to 13 or 14 turnovers a game. If you're a coach in a team, I mean, some guys say we'd like to see it under 10, but that's unrealistic.
Yeah, and Illinois last year did one of the best in the country in taking care of the basketball. And when you go on the road like Illinois State, that's a key. You can't turn it over just like that. Got to get those good opportunities, get the ball inside. And against Illinois' pressure defensively, it's easy to turn the ball over.
Porter Moser in his first year, former Creighton guard. As a matter of fact, he played on a Missouri Valley Conference champion back in 1989. A young man who grew up in the state. He said, hey, we're not fooling anybody. We know. I know what Illinois is. I know what the school stands for. Little backdoor alley-oop, and Augustine misses on the reverse. So we're still looking for our first bucket as Illinois State comes in, averaging about 70 points a game. Illinois averaging about 78. As a matter of fact, that's tops among Big Ten teams. They're plus 14. Alexander stops and he knocks down the three ball. That's his 16.
And Mike, like you said, he really struggled in his last game against Southern Illinois. 1 from 8, 0 for 6 from three-point line. Stops up, hits a jump shot on the road here. Helps his confidence tremendously.
Randall, one of the heralded rookies, and Illinois now sloppy with the basketball. D. Brown might not be scoring like a lot of Illinois people thought, but Coach Weber saying yesterday he's doing all the other little things very well.
Well, and with Darren out right now, you see a big three there. Good rotation on that jump shot. I think that's been a key fundamentally. Really hasn't had a good release. Struggled from behind the three-point line. Knocks that down early.
Shooting at 30%, but that is his 21st three on the year. As Illinois State comes in trying to snap a two-game skid. They go down into the paint, kicks it back out. Alexander again, and he lights it up. He's back-to-back with threes now. Greg Alexander, a 6'4 junior out of Lincoln, Illinois.
Yeah, good job by Illinois State getting the ball inside, and then Arnold looking for that open guy on the perimeter and able to knock down the three.
Inside, Powell Little fade on the baseline.
That was a tough shot. Ball away, up over a much taller opponent.
Earlier this year, Powell coming off of back-to-back double-doubles. Then he had that 20-point game against North Carolina. And a loss, of course, in Greensboro. He's off to a solid start, though. 6-5, Illinois trails by 1, thanks to a couple of threes by Greg Alexander. Arnold, the sophomore out of Chicago, won't go down. And they get the offensive glass, and it goes for Greg Dilligard. Dilligard, only a freshman, a 6'8 freshman from LaBelle, Missouri. And it's 8-5 now. Redbirds on top. You know, Doug, a couple of years ago they played here, and Illinois wound up walking away with the win, but it was a 5-point game at halftime.
Well, Illinois State's ready to play right now. Porter Moore's has got these guys ready to go, and they're playing with a lot of intensity right now, especially defensively.
Way off the mark, coming off the screen, a 3-ball by D. Brown. He shoots the air ball, and it goes out of bounds, and a substitution now for Bruce Weber in his first year after a great run at Southern Illinois. That's Richard McBride checking in for the Fighting Illini, and talk about rookies having some success. McBride is one right there.
Yeah, I mean, Randall defensively, give him an A. McBride, I think, offensively, coming off the bench, hitting the big three-pointers, especially against Memphis. He bailed this team out here in Champaign a couple weeks ago.
Alexander going inside. Nice look, and Dilligard, the rookie, has his second bucket. That's 4 for Dilligard, and it's a 10-5 game as Illinois State doubles the score on the Fighting Illini.
Boy, Arnold really offensively creating havoc inside for the big men from Illinois.
You know, 40 minutes of basketball, you got to lean towards the Big Ten school, but you don't want momentum to go in Illinois State's favor too soon if you're Bruce Weber.
Yeah, Illinois shooting too many jump shots on the perimeter, not getting the ball inside. They've got the depth and strength inside. They need to take advantage of it.
Good steal by Augustine now. The Fighting Illini with their running shoes. They've got some numbers. D. Brown. And he misfires on the layup, and there's the whistle and the reach. It's going to go against Illinois State. Looks like it's going against Greg Dilligard, the 6'8 freshman. Dilligard picks up his first. There's a timeout on the floor with 15:43 to go in the opening half here from Champaign, Illinois. Roger Powell and company trailing by 5 to Illinois State. Welcome back to Assembly Hall. Illinois State by 5. Mr. Altenberger and Greg Alexander with a couple of threes, but Marcus Arnold is getting his touches inside.
Yeah, you know, coming out early, Alexander hits the 2 threes. It opens it up inside. Dilligard does a great job getting to the boards, but everything is flowing through Arnold. We talked in the open where he got his touches. The adjustments Illinois has got to make some here in the huddle. Defensively, try to slow him down.
And Dilligard comes in averaging about 5 points, but shooting 60% from the floor. And right now, Illinois throws the basketball away. Another turnover for the Fighting Illini. Another opportunity for the Redbirds.
Yeah, Redbirds doing a good job on the perimeter, really denying the basketball. Very active on those passes. Illinois is going to look to go back door, cut to the basket, or try to get the ball inside from the top of the key.
Vince Green, only 5'9", out of Brother Rice High School in Chicago. Little backdoor cut. Alexander beats the big guy, and Arnold gets his first bucket. He's going to the line with a chance for the three-point play.
Boy, the first 5 minutes here, Illinois State executing in the half-court game. You can't put it on the chalkboard much better than that. Alexander overplaying, looking for that 3. They try to deny that. He cuts back door and then does a great dish for Arnold, and Arnold's got that upper body strength to finish the shot off, and he goes for the 3. I guess they didn't count that. Must have been on the floor, or he must have missed the shot. I thought he converted that, but again, Arnold is a guy that has the ability physically to match up with Powell.
I guess definitely no continuation, huh? Marcus, I thought he had the bucket as well, but 68% shooter from the stripe. He gets 1 out of the trip. 13-5 now. Illinois State on top. You know, Bruce Weber was saying in the last win against Illinois Chicago, their aggressive play, and they got a lot of deflections, and Illinois Chicago missed 20 of their first 27 shots. Not the case here this afternoon with Illinois State.
Yeah, Illinois really an excellent ball handling team. Even as a young team last year, only averaged 12 or 13 turnovers a game, but right now just really struggling. And then you see Arnold, I mean, he's just having his way down low. Augustine or one of the big fellas, Powell's got to wake up and try to slow him down. Right now, he's doing anything he wants offensively.
Doug, I don't know if Arnold had a lot of confidence coming in. He might have, but that little baby hook down on the baseline, you could see he was exuding confidence.
Well, Mike, he's got it right now. I mean, offensively, he feels it whenever he gets those touches.
Dee Brown. 11 on the clock outside. Luther Head ringing up for a three.
And Luther continues to look for that open jump shot. He's got the green light from Bruce Weber. And you've got to shut him down from the perimeter. He loves to shoot the quick three.
That's his 11th on the year. Illinois came in with 62 threes. They've got a couple here in the early going. 15-8, though, they trail Illinois State. Dee Brown from three, misfires. Second air ball this afternoon for Mr. Brown.
Yeah, again, I think fundamentally his rotation on that ball, if you look at it, there's not much spin on it, and it's just not coming off. Whether he's shooting it quick or whatever, he just doesn't seem to quite have that actual release, and it shows on those last two air balls.
Dee Brown commits the foul. Both coaches going to the bench. Now here comes Darren Williams. Back on the floor for the first time since breaking his jaw. As Doug pointed out, his jaw is still wired. But he goes through the drills in practice. If anything, his legs might not be back. Is what he loses, 12 to 14 pounds.
And when you lose those pounds, it usually comes right off the legs area. So you want to make sure you get him in there. Again, Arnold, no one double downs from the top. And he's just going right over to the top of the taller Illinois guys. And right now, Illinois offensively just really out of kilter.
17-8. Inside to Nick Smith. Mentioned the fact that this is the second trip into Assembly Hall in 3 years. Some other scores. St. Joe's ranked number 10. St. John's led the nation in field goal defense last year. Illinois was second. Look at that. 61-56, Kentucky over North Carolina. Carolina hanging pretty tough there, considering they only have really 3 guys who can shoot the ball, or score, I should say. They're not very deep, but Carolina keeps winning.
Well, Roy Williams, there's no one better in the country is setting up a program. Did it with North Carolina with Dean Smith and at Kansas, so he just keeps winning.
There's a reach, and it's going to go against Marcus Arnold on Nick Smith. You know that game in Greensboro, Illinois and North Carolina? In the Big Ten, Indiana. That's a final, losing to Temple 59-50. I just did that game down in Texas, Doug, where they beat North Texas by 9. Gracie Wright had 39, but no one else really scored that much.
Tough to go man on out-of-bounds play against Illinois. They're so quick. And Dee Brown, the smallest guy on the floor, goes up for a layup on out-of-bounds play. Very rarely see that.
Illini down by 7, 17-10. Greg Alexander knocked down a couple of threes in this first half. There's a whistle away from the ball. Tim Hutchinson, Dennis Bracco, and Dave Marisic wearing the striped shirts, blowing the whistles here in Champaign this afternoon. Bruce Weber, 2 of the last 3 years at Southern Illinois, winning conference championships. Would love to keep it going here in the Big Ten.
Yeah, Arnold goes out for Illinois State. I mean, he was a factor. He's got 2 fouls, and Illinois did a good job of trying to attack him offensively.
Good look that time to Delegard. Basket will be waved off. Or at least it should be, considering the fact that Arnold's bucket didn't go earlier.
Well, against UIC, Illinois did a lot of trapping, and they were able to get some quick transition buckets. Right now, Illinois State doing a good job of really handling that double team. And when they do, they've made Illinois pay cutting to the basket. So right now, Illinois State doing a great job of taking care of the basketball.
Coming out the screen, misfires that time by Greg Alexander. He's got a couple of threes. He had 58 as a freshman, 61 as a sophomore. There's the reach by Alexander.
See, what's happened is they're trying to rotate the basketball, and what's occurring is they're not able to reverse it. What you've got to do is fake to that sidelines. Then the big men step up in the box. They'll be wide open there. Again, just an adjustment you need to make during the game, and especially for the big guys from Illinois when they're up at the top of the key. If Augustine or Ingram, who's in now, can really step up there, there'll be an opening inside the paint area. There you see a great job by Porter Moser, who's really done a good job of Illinois State, making them very competitive coming back, and they've really played a super game so far early on.
Moser jumping off the bench because I stand corrected. That foul went against Illinois. Richard McBride Thought it was a reach by Alexander, but some contact by McBride before the steal by Alexander. Green dips inside the paint. So 5'9" senior out of Chicago gets his first bucket.
Yeah, Luther had tried to put some pressure on him. Green again handling the basketball, makes him pay the price, cuts the basket.
Illini trailing 19-10 right now. And they have dominated here in Assembly Hall this year by an average point total victory of 28. There's the reach on Nick Smith as he backs out, takes a little jumper.
I mean, Illinois State is just playing fantastic right now. I mean, Illinois, I got to say, they're not playing that bad, but Illinois State, I think, is playing that well. The Redbirds have really come in with a good game plan, and right now are doing a marvelous job of executing on the road in the Assembly Hall so far.
Well, most of these kids wearing the Redbird uniforms grew up in the state of Illinois. This is has to be exciting, coming in here with a chance to pull off the upset against the big boys. Illinois, they've won 30 straight non-conference games here in Assembly Hall as Nick Smith walks to the line and gets his first point.
Well, Illinois, it's been a couple of weeks since they've been back in the Assembly Hall, and you think with a sold-out crowd, the guys would come out with a little bit more energy, but this is always a typical game right before the Big Ten season. Sometimes you look forward. They've got to step it up right now and get ready to play the rest of this game.
Nick Smith knocks down a couple of free throws, but Marcus Arnold's averaging 15. He has 5 so far with 11:27 to go. And the Redbirds leading the Fighting Illini on their home floor by 7. Back inside Assembly Hall, 7-point game. And right now, let's take a look at the option stats flash. Mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois State, like I said, I don't think Illinois has played that poorly. It's just Illinois State's played that well. This is an important stretch of minutes right now for the Redbirds because Arnold's got 2 fouls sitting on the bench.
78%. Now, both teams come in. They're both good shooting clubs, shooting 47% on the year. Anytime you go on the road and shoot 78%, coach will take that. That was a turnover by Miller. Comes off the bench, Mike Miller, and we come back the other way. Porter Moser, also in his first year, he had a solid 3 years at Arkansas Little Rock in his head coaching debut. Took a team that was 4-24 in Arkansas, won 18-12, 18-11, and 18-11. There's Darren Williams, his first shot since coming back, a little bit too strong, and the rebound goes to Randall. He gives it up to Ingram. And they swing it around. Luther Head finally gets the shot. He misfires. There's a reach by Nick Smith. Good box out that time by Illinois State.
Yeah, again, Illinois looking for that jump shot. It hasn't gone down for them, and it just right now there seems to be a lid on the basketball. But good, good passing, good rotation. The big fella Nick Smith struggled against UIC right now, just having a tough time going. There's the Michigan State continuing to struggle.
Another tough loss for Tom Izzo, although that's scheduled. Unbelievable. Let me see, Syracuse, Kansas, Kentucky, Oklahoma. Help me out here. I'm sure I'm missing somebody.
Now, you mentioned Kentucky. I mean, it keeps going. Duke, they played at home. I mean, it wasn't pretty.
Here's Guidry. Speaking of the ACC, the transfer from NC State misfires. Comes right back. Nice job of using the glass that time. Guidry gets his first bucket.
Yeah, Redbirds also doing a good job energy-wise, picking up those loose balls.
Augustine, southpaw, misfires, but he's fouled. A little body contact by Greg Gilligard.
And I think that's what Illinois needs to do. They're a very good perimeter team, but right now take advantage of their depth down low. Attack Illinois State. Go after the big fellas. Gilligard is your last big guy for the Redbirds. Try to get him in foul trouble. And then you've got the 2 starters on the bench. Now you can create something down low.
Augustine gets in the scoring column. 52% shooter. 68 from the floor as Powell comes back on the floor for the Fighting Illini. Now, James Augustine, here's a guy that's almost averaging a double-double.
And the thing about Augustine is he does so many things so good. I mean, probably the biggest jump is from your freshman, sophomore year, and he has really made the transition, especially defensively. You can see that last year got in foul trouble. This year, only maybe one game all year so far. He's had to sit on the bench the first half.
So Augustine knocks down a couple of charity tosses, but there's the numbers on the field goals. Illinois just 4 for 11 playing on their home floor here this afternoon. 47% on the year, but still trying to find their groove. Inside, Eccles gets the ball, and boy, he muscles his way in that time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be a little tougher inside. Eccles isn't that tough, and he does I mean, defensively, Illinois got to make some adjustments. Illinois State really confident down the low when the ball goes in the paint.
Williams. Yeah, Najib Eccles, a 6'7", 230-pounder. There's some bumping and shoving going on. Foul goes against Chris Burris, the 6'5" sophomore out of Chicago.
I mean, that was a good forearm shiver he threw at Augustine right there. But again, the big men for Illinois move so well without the basketball. And after he sets that screen on the top, he gets to that open spot, and Augustine can put it on the floor and go to the floor. And that puts so much pressure on you when you're 6'9", 6'10". You got to guard someone 20 feet from the basket.
Out of bounds play goes right to Augustine. Too hard off the glass. There's the battle for the rebound, and the whistle goes against the Redbirds again. I believe Trey Guidry picks up the foul.
Foul on number 24, Trey Guidry.
So Illinois State comes in. They're battling hard, trying to snap a 2-game skid. They had an overtime victory against Western Kentucky. Then they lost by 3 to Northern Iowa and were blown out by 17 to Southern Illinois, where they missed their first 5 shots of the game. They come into Champaign. They grab the lead. They're up now 23-14, and Powell walks to the line and doesn't go down for the junior out of Joliet. Illinois State's owning the paints against the Big Ten team.
And you'd think that would be the opposite with Illinois' size and strength down low. And what they've done is, see what they're able to do is Illinois really playing the passing lanes on the wing. And what I was talking about Illinois to do, entry from the top of the key, that's what Illinois needs to do. Illinois State is doing so far. That's been their bread and butter move down low. And Illinois got to make some adjustments. Got to get some help from the top, from the wings area. They got to sort of split their defenders. Ball goes inside. They can double down. And right now, Illinois State able to use their speed, quickness in the paint area.
A great shot there by Tim Sutton, our director, too. You saw Eccles getting good position at 6'7", 230. If he can move Big Ten players around, once he gets into conference play in his own conference, he should have a lot of success. There's a crowd pleaser now. Roger Powell makes sure that one goes down. Powell averaging 13 points over his last 11 games. Last season, comes in averaging 14. Porter Moser likes to stress the defense. Matter of fact, at Arkansas Little Rock, they were last in several Sun Belt Conference defensive categories. And then the next year, they bumped that up to number 1 in field goal defense and number 2 in scoring defense.
Well, he learned under one of the better defensive coaches in the country, Tony Baroni, who was at Bradley under Dick Versace, and then went to Creighton, and they won in Missouri Valley with Porter Moser there. And so he knows what defense, how important it is, and stresses it.
Randall looking inside, telegraphs the pass to Powell. Here comes the Redbirds now. They want to run it. Guidry with the ball. Back over to Eccles, and he misfires. Missed opportunity by the Redbirds that time. Luther Head says, hey, give me the rock. I'll light it up. That's a 3. His second 3 of the ball game. And Illinois crawling back into it, down 23-19. You look at the Fighting Illini as they take the 30-second timeout for Illinois State.
This is called the delayed transition. They come down to the fast break. It's not there. Perimeter players come on the delayed break. They spot up. Illinois State doing a good job to get back defensively. One of the few transition buckets Illinois has been able to get so far defensively for the Redbirds.
We're inside Assembly Hall. That's the Orange Crush you're looking at. It's the home of the Fighting Illini. Alongside Doug Altenberger, who used to tickle the twine, as they say here in Assembly Hall. I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us as the Missouri Valley Conference tries to come in and pull off an upset. 23-19 now. Illinois climbing back into the ball game. You look at Bruce Weber. what he's done, I think, I really like, is you look at that team. Of course, you lose Ryan Cook, big scorer last year, but so many players are getting so many minutes. He's really spreading the wealth.
Well, and he's really, they've had a lot of guys miss games for various reasons, and he has really kept this team intact. You lose Darren Williams, and they didn't start off at full strength beginning of the season, and winning that game against Missouri down in St. Louis without Darren Williams and beating a very talented Missouri team. I thought coaching-wise, that's one of the best things I've seen in the last several years. He just did a tremendous job preparing his guys.
Illinois is on the run, but Illinois State continues to try to hold on to Big Mo as Guidry goes up to the line. Here's a guy who Bob Gibbons said he was probably the best pure shooter in the nation coming out of high school from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Knocks down the first free throw. He has 3 in the ball game. Comes in shooting 93% for Coach Moser. Really struggled in his last game. Only hit 2 shots, though, against Southern Illinois. 2 of 14. 1 for 8 from three-point territory. Knocks down both. He has 4 points. And we're inside 8 minutes, so we're going to take a timeout here. As the Fighting Illini of Illinois down early, Roger Powell and company trying to climb back into it. They still trail 25-19. Redbirds on top 25-19 over the Fighting Illini. Doug, both teams with 5 turnovers, but Illinois State scoring on the Bears.
Yeah, they've got 7 points to 0 to Illinois, and they're doing a good job of doubling the post and the perimeter plays, playing in the passing lanes. See Alexander doing a great job, very active. They're a little bit quicker than Illinois right now. The Redbirds taking advantage of that quickness.
Hungry for the upsets. It's the 7th time these two schools have actually gotten together over the years.
Illinois State, number 15, Matt Miller. Number 1 on Miller, 8 on the Redbirds.
Porter Moser in his first year, 5 turnovers. And as Doug mentioned, Illinois State with 7 points off of those 5 turnovers now, whereas Illinois yet to score. Luther Head going to the stripe for the first time. He's got a couple of threes. 76% shooter from the free throw line.
Yeah, Luther came out and played a great game against UIC a couple days ago. Came out of the box and had 8 points and was 2 out of 3 from the three-point line. So his hot shooting continues. He has 8 points so far here in the first half.
Yeah, last year he closed out last 11 games of the season, shot 48% from behind the arc. So,
well, he had a hernia, and no one could quite figure it out. I'm giving Rod Cardinal a hard time. How can you not find a hernia? But it was sort of wasn't really a hernia, but they able to have the surgery over the summer, and he looks like a new Luther Head like he did his freshman year. Very much more active, very athletic.
Something to do with the pelvic, though, huh? Pelvic problem. He missed like 7 ball games. 5 on the shot clock. Guidry says, hey, I've made those shots before, as he walks down the court, a little disgusted with himself. Trey Guidry, matter of fact, he was the only rookie to start a game at NC State his freshman year in Raleigh. Matter of fact, one game he came off the bench in 5 or 6 threes against Wake Forest. So this guy can shoot it. Shooting 49% so far this year, despite that poor showing against Southern Illinois. And that's behind the arc.
Right now, Illinois State coming out in the 2-3 zone. We've got a 3-guard lineup, zone busters out there.
Speaking of a zone buster, Darren Williams still looking for that first point since coming off the bench with the broken jaw. Williams was shooting 45% from the floor when he busted that jaw, and he was averaging 6.6 assists.
Yeah, no question that offensively he has really excelled under Bruce Weber's motion offense. And at 6'4", 210 pounds, he can create off the dribble and go up over the top. And I think another guy here, Roger Powell, again, gives him a lot of freedom on the offensive style. He can go to the basket, he can post up. There's a lot more options for you offensively.
Roger Powell, 64% shooter in conference games last year in the Big Ten. 62 on the year. So needless to say, he's pretty good down near the basket in the paint. Illinois, a 3 would tie this game up. Williams thought about it, gives up the rock. Luther Head says, hey, it was in, but it rattled out. Hard to believe that one didn't go down.
Well, it did everything but go in.
Inside 6 minutes now, 25-22. victory here would push Illinois State back to the 500 mark at 5-5. There's a steal by Head and the reach by Trey Guidry.
Yeah, Illinois does a great job at the top of the key. When you try to step up, when they've got the big fellow Augustine, who is got very agile and 6'10". See how he pops up? Boom, double team. You got a 6'4" guy on top. If you got a 6'10" guy on you, you got to get rid of that basketball very quickly. Against UIC, they did that to Banks and Bailey, and really, they had a difficult time running their offense. So if you screen from the top, be prepared to be double teamed.
Randall coming back in for Bruce Weber now, and D. Brown will take a breather. Luther Head with this free throw will become the first in double figures. There you see his average. And this free throw puts him over his average now. He's in double figures with 10 points this afternoon.
You see Illinois all of a sudden starting to create much more defensively havoc. With confidence, Illinois State right now is a very important stretch of the next 5 minutes trying to handle that basketball.
And that trapping is where they had so much success against Illinois Chicago. And there's the three. Alexander came out ripping them. Shy on that one.
Quick shot like that, they can get that whenever they want.
So now a bucket here puts Illinois on top as they trail by 1. Inside 10 on the shot clock, down to 5 now for Illinois. Williams trying to create out the dribble. Stops, little fade, not quite strong enough. Might be those legs we talked about early after missing 3 games and losing 14 pounds.
Yeah, Mike, and like you said, you can practice all you want, but until you get out there and it's game time in front of 18,000 people, and having him sit out, I know the coaching staff was excited that conditioning-wise he's in pretty good shape, but just getting out there in front of people and it's just a whole different environment.
Well, the whistle went against Illinois, much to the chagrin of Bruce Weber and the Fighting Illini faithful here in Assembly Hall.
Yeah, I think all of us are a little confused exactly what was called there.
Bruce Weber, 103-54 in 5 years at Southern Illinois. Boy, what a great run his last 2 years, huh? 28-8, 24-7, a trip to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and even before that, when he was at Purdue, I mean, 18 years out of those 6 times they won the Big Ten championship. I mean, this guy knows what it takes to win and what is necessary in the Big Ten.
Hop, skip, and a jump for Darren Williams. He says, if I'm not hitting the J, I'm taking it to the rack. His first bucket since coming back.
Yeah, great defense by Illinois the last 10 minutes. That's what's gotten them back in this game and given them a 1-point lead.
You saw the numbers there, 21-10. Illinois on a run now, and they take the lead on Darren Williams. A little jumper inside the lane, 26-25. Their first lead. Eccles tries to pound his way in. Jump ball called. Possession arrow pointing towards Illinois State.
Yeah, Illinois doing a good, the Redbirds doing a good job taking care of the basketball, but right now they are tired, and with the big boys on the bench, Dilligard and also Arnold on the bench, they don't have much scoring inside, and they're going with some young guys down low, and Burris and Eccles, they're big, but they don't have the experience.
Alexander, nice job of using the window there. The usual three-point artist gets his 8th point of the afternoon.
So Illinois State going to that zone because the big fellas, their front lines, all in foul trouble, so they don't have much choice. Illinois needs to take their time offensively and get any shot they want.
But one thing I picked up when I went to Greensboro to watch the North Carolina-Illinois game, now Darren Williams was known as a pass-first guard, but that really is not the case anymore.
No, not anymore. I mean, last year I think he respected Cook. He was the option, then D. Brown, and Williams felt like, hey, I got to set these guys up, but he feels like he's the go-to guy right now.
And not that he doesn't look for the assist, obviously averaging over 6 assists a game. Still looking to distribute the rock, but you're right, he's thinking he's the go-to guy. A nice strong shot by Neil Plank. Started his college basketball in the Big Ten, playing for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Yeah, Plank and Alexander back there slashing to the bucket. Hit 2 difficult shots with defenders in their face.
Matter of fact, Plank hit double figures in 3 of the first 4 games this year. hasn't hit double figures in the last 5, so Coach Moser decided to sit him, not start him here in Champaign. Augustine with a nice reverse, but it won't go down. Good body control, but this one just rimmed out. Inside 3 minutes, deadlocked at 29 from Champaign, Illinois. These are those dangerous games for the Big Ten schools when you're playing the in-state crowd. And there's the reach. Darren Williams, Bruce Weber says, where was it? I didn't see it.
Yeah, and that was right in front of Coach Weber. He didn't like that call at all. And he's going to let the official know it. But I think, Illinois defensively in the last 10 minutes have really stepped it up in causing turnovers, transition buckets, and getting the fast break going. And I think that's really their key. CDL playing has struggled offensively, and it seems like when things don't go well, then he'd struggle at the free throw line, and they didn't start him. They sat him on the bench, but Redbirds so far, they got to feel pretty good about themselves. With Arnold on the bench, the last 10 minutes, 12 minutes, they're able to play a little even right now. They got to feel good about that.
They fall behind, and free throws under 50%. Battling inside, though, as Chris Burris finally gets his first bucket.
Yeah, Burris has really come in and played some solid minutes for him and played with tremendous intensity. 6'5", 210 pounds. Looks like he's gained a little weight. It's more like 230.
Williams in and out and back in again. Back-to-back threes for the sophomore from the Colony, Texas. Suddenly he has 8 points.
Yeah, that zone is not very good. I don't think Illinois State likes playing the zone, but they don't really have much options right now. And getting a lot of good looks behind the three-point line.
Blank, All-Stater right here in the state of Illinois. Feeds off down on the baseline. There's the whistle and the foul against the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, and when the Redbirds can handle that pressure and they take the ball, put it on the floor, cut to the basket, they do a good job. The post players get on that box, and when someone's got to come up and help one of the big men, when they do a good job of feeding it off, and Eccles, again, gets to the free throw line.
Well, Darren Williams with the last 8 points. His last 2 buckets have given the Illini the lead. Now Eccles can tie with the free throw. Shot that one like a brick. A 23% shooter from the line, but a 60% shooter from the floor.
In college basketball, shooting free throws is a lost art. I mean, it's amazing the last 5 or 6 years. See how that fundamental has really dropped off.
Now, Jeeb Eccles, the 6'7", 230-pound junior out of Chicago, hits 1 of 2. But Darren Williams, coming off the bench, getting his first minute since breaking his jaw. He has 8 points. This big 3, putting the Fighting Illini in the lead. And right now, we are tied at 32 apiece with 1:39 to go. Back inside Assembly Hall, the Orange Crush all painted up, and a little surprise right now. They're deadlocked with the Redbirds at 32. Darren Williams told me yesterday, 15, 20 minutes. Coach said closer to 15. Where is he right now? 12?
He's already at 12. It's amazing what happens when the game gets tight. But, I mean, it's great to see him shoot. Looks like he hasn't missed anything. He's been off 21 days, and his jump shot looks crisp out there.
Well, they said it going through the drills. He was running the drills fine, but Coach Weber didn't want him to get banged down in the paint because the jaw, of course, is still wired. And Williams would say, no, Coach, I'm cool. Just let me play. But he might exceed that 20 minutes here this afternoon. As you say, especially if it remains tight. Burris, a step back, doesn't go down. Offensive stick back won't go for Eccles. Here comes Williams now in the Fighting Illini. Inside a minute to play in the first 20 minutes. Whistle as Augustine is limping now. So Augustine will get looked at out of the Illinois bench. 52 seconds to go. Coming up at halftime, we'll have scores of other Big Ten games. Of course, first half stats and highlights. And a word from the University of Illinois. All coming up in the next 52 seconds here from Champaign. So the Big Ten looming just around the corner. James Augustine limps off. He'll be going to the locker room, get that looked at. They can ill afford to have that young sophomore get banged up now at this juncture.
That's certainly not a good look. I mean, to see him going down into the tunnel.
Inside, Smith with the open look was 15 shy. Plank rebounds. for Illinois State. So tied at 32, just 30 seconds to go. Well, that quick start, the Redbirds obviously not looking intimidated, despite that long winning streak they have at Assembly Hall. Speaking of Illinois, of course. Then screen, stops, steps back. Boy, Powell goes up high to clear. Only 5 seconds to go. They'll have to get this one off quickly. Williams stops. They still, boy, great job of getting the ball to McBride. I thought the time would expire before McBride got the shot off. But, Doug, your thoughts on the first 20 minutes?
I thought the Redbirds just played great. I mean, coming into the Assembly Hall, they weren't intimidated, handled the basketball. And I thought the University of Illinois didn't play that poorly. They poured it on in the last 5 or 6 minutes defensively. Look for them to step it up again in the second half with that pressure.
Halftime in Champaign. We're deadlocked at 32. Halftime in Assembly Hall. We are deadlocked after 20 minutes. 32-32, Illinois State and Illinois. Fighting Illini, they've won 30 straight non-conference games. So what else is going on, Mr. Altman? Back inside Assembly Hall, Illinois State and Illinois, they played 20 minutes, and they are deadlocked at 32 alongside Doug Altenberger. I'm Mike Gleason, and great to have you with us for the Saturday afternoon matinee. Well, Doug, 20 minutes in, can the Redbirds sustain for 40 minutes?
Well, that's the question. Can their big fellas stay out of foul trouble? They shot 54% in the first half, took care of the basketball, played, half-court defense, executed well offensively, and they're tied against Illinois, one of the top teams in the country.
All right, let's take a look at the Country Insurance and Financial first-half highlights.
Well, we talked about the Redbirds. It started with the outside. Alexander was really hot from the perimeter. That caused the inside, and Arnold had 7 points in only 8 minutes, got in foul trouble, but he was a factor down low and made his presence known. In Illinois, they really struggled offensively. Got some free looks inside, but those were rare, Powell. But when Darren Williams came off the bench, 2 for 3 from three-point land, he seems to settle his team down offensively, and they needed all those points from the perimeter. Looks like he, even though he's had 21 days off, looks like he didn't have much rust on there. He looks very sharp offensively.
And time now for the College Illinois first half stats.
And the stats you see there, again, good field goal pursuit by the Redbirds. But the thing you don't see there, only 5 assists for Illinois. This is the team that led the country in assists last year, averaged 18 a game. And so they're having a hard time distributing that basketball. Give the Redbirds defensive credit.
You know, Doug Porter Moser watching his team shoot 54%, but free throws only 4 for 9. And don't forget that a few of those were on the front end of the bonus situation.
Well, and the key for Illinois, too, is three-point field goals. 5 for 12. That's really kept them in the game so far. Points in the paint, you think that'd be opposite. You think Illinois would have 16, Illinois 6. So Bruce Weber, I'm sure, at halftime making those adjustments, getting the ball inside.
Well, tied at 32. We'll be back to see what transpires in the next 20 minutes here from Champaign, Illinois. Should be interesting.
Tuition secured. Your kids have it made when tuition's been paid.
As your kids get bigger, tuition grows too. But don't worry, we're here to help you.
Stop tuition inflation with College Illinois prepaid education.
Buy it now, and your kids' tuition is safe. When they're ready, it can be used any place.
Rest assured, tuition secured. Your kids have it made when tuition's prepaid.
I love my job because I get to work with people. I totally consider my clients friends. I appreciate it when they actually ask me over for dinner.
I feel if you don't know a person personally, then how do you know what insurance they're really going to need?
We are real people. We all have the same goals, we have the same ambitions, and some of the same fears.
We definitely think of the client in personal terms.
When they trust you and they like you and you've helped them, it makes me feel great.
This is my country.
Call me anytime.
Own a timeshare? Sell it for cash. Own a campground membership? Sell it for cash. In the last 6 months, over $1 billion in vacation timeshares have been sold industry-wide. Now's the perfect time to buy, sell, or rent your property for cash. Call right now for your free information kit to buy, sell, or rent your timeshare or campground membership for cash. Plus, be one of the next 200 callers, and we'll include 10 secrets to buy or sell your timeshare by Century 21 Vacation Properties. It's only available from this special TV offer. Don't wait until you have to pay another maintenance fee or tax bill. Call now and turn your timeshare into cash. Be one of the next 200 callers for your free information kit, and we'll include 10 secrets to buy or sell your timeshare by Century 21 Vacation Properties. Buy, sell, or rent your timeshare for cash. Call now. Don't wait to pay another maintenance fee or tax bill. It's a free call, so call now.
Call 800-410-9907. That's 800-410-9907 for this limited time exclusive TV offer.
Well, Darren Williams got tired of sipping soup for 21 days. He was chomping at the bit to play some basketball, and he had a pretty good first half for Illinois.
Boy, he sure did. I mean, he stepped up offensively. Coming off the bench, hit some big threes when his team was struggling offensively. You see the leading scorers. Luther had again continuing to shoot the ball well, extremely from the outside. And same thing with the Redbirds. Alexander set that tone early, and Arnold was able to really prosper after that perimeter opened up. He got the ball inside, and he was able to score. And Williams, again, he only played 13 minutes, and we were laughing about that because Coach Bruce Weber said, well, we're only going to play maybe 15 if we're lucky. Well, he's already got 13.
So he has 2 more, plus Augustine's banged up, right?
Yeah, and Augustine, they taped him up, and they're going to try to bring him back out here in the second half, but he twisted his ankle, landed on a Redbird.
Well, the last time the Redbirds beat a ranked opponent, you got to go back to December of '87. It was a Big Ten team. Iowa ranked number 14. Went down 89-88. Since then, they lost 13 straight to ranked foes, and right now the Fighting Illini ranked number 19. James Augustine, the lefty, the sophomore left, went to the training room early in the first half, or late in the first half, before the first half expired, I should say. And, Doug, you had the update on him.
Yeah, again, landed on someone in the Redbirds, ran on a foot, twisted his ankle. Not a severe sprain. They'll try to bring him back out, taped it up, see how it's going to feel. And right now he's already limping a little bit, and just got to sort of work through it. It's one of those when you ankle sprain, best thing to do is just get back out there.
Yeah.
And halftime probably didn't treat him that well because it tends to tighten up. But hopefully the next 2 or 3 minutes as he gets going, the blood gets going down in there, he loosen up a little bit.
Second half underway from Champaign. You know, D. Brown on the backcourt now, or in the backcourt with Darren Williams for the first time, starting a half since Williams went down with a broken jaw against Maryland Eastern Shore. And you look at D. Brown, he did a lot of scoring, of course, over the summer. He had a 47-point game against Lithuania, playing for the U.S. team. Now, without getting jiggy here, I know the Illinois fans say, let's not hit the panic button, but he shot a couple of air balls. What do you think he's doing with his offense that he hasn't been so productive shooting the rock?
Well, I think the difference between, you see Darren Williams there, who's very confident, is going up, getting good rotation on that basketball. Good shooters have good rotation. Right now, D. Brown probably needs to do some extra jump shots, keep working on that, and really work on his fundamentals, because I think his shot right now is a little bit off. And where it's coming from is the fundamentals. Not getting a good flip, not getting a good rotation.
And that comes from a pure shooter? Are you a scorer or a shooter?
Well, I don't know what I was. just trying to get the ball in the hole. That's all I try to do. But again, when you're struggling with your outside shot, see right there, Luther is just going up, very confident, and that's really the key. Good rotation on that basketball, and you can just see when it comes off those fingers, it's going right to the back of the rim.
Corey Bradford probably had the prettiest jump shot I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, there you see Augustine right now. Earlier in the first half, he would have cut that off right there, struggling against, see that ankle already starting to affect him.
Alexander's got some rotation. He had 2 threes in the first half. That's his third. He's in double figures with 11 points.
Now, see, this is the type of game I like. Everybody's shooting threes. Ball doesn't go inside too much.
The big guys don't want to hear that. Williams, a little shy again. And the rebound goes to Marcus Arnold.
Yeah, Augustine is not 100% right now. He's coming down the floor. He's probably looks maybe more like 70%. And he's really struggling with favoring his left ankle. He's really favoring that right side.
Go back to the game plan. Get it down in the paint to Marcus Arnold. He walked with a basketball, so we're coming back the other way.
Yeah, and Arnold's got to recognize that Augustine really doesn't have that mobility. Don't try to track him. Go right at him, go around him. He's not going to be able to move very laterally. There you see him sort of gingerly moving around on that ankle.
So Darren Williams slowly, methodically takes it up for Illinois now, tied at 35. As Illinois hoping to get to 9-2 to close out the non-conference schedule, with Ohio State coming into Champaign to open up the Big Ten campaign on Wednesday night. Powell puts the ball on the floor, explodes into the lane and scores.
Yeah, I like this lineup Illinois got right in. They've got the 3-guard lineup with D. Brown, Darren Williams, and Luther had the 3 guards. You got quickness. You can do a lot of things defensively. You can switch, double team, really create a lot of havoc.
There's a reach on Augustine.
Yeah, anytime you go over the top and you extend your hand down, you're going to get called for that. Augustine knows that. That's sort of like you can go up there and just flip that thing away. Don't bring your hand down, and that's officials will call that every time.
Should take the shot there of Bruce Weber. I'm not sure if all of his practices are open to the public or not, Doug, but as a former Illini, you should talk to him about this, but his practices, as Arnold gets inside and scores again, very entertaining. And not so much because he's in the faces of his players like a lot of coaches are, but he makes it competitive. He has these little contests throughout practices. I sat here yesterday, and I was thoroughly entertained.
Well, when you've got a deep team like Illinois does, you can split them up, and you can make guys pay the difference. There is a hooking on Augustine. 2 quick fouls.
3 now.
And now he's got his 3rd foul, like you said, Mike. So he goes in there, hooks that arm, extends that arm around, but he doesn't get much of an advantage there. Wasn't really going anywhere. And gets called for the foul. And
so the turnover picture, 7-6 to Illinois State. They come in only averaging 14.5 turnovers a game, which isn't bad considering the fact they're a game under 500.
And give credit to this guy, Vince Green. He has really played some good minutes at the point guard position. He's got 3 turnovers, but other than that, he's done a good job on entry passes going in there. That was a tough pass, but did a good job of handling the rock, settling his team down offensively, and able to run some half-court sets.
Yeah, that pass had telegraph written all over it, huh? Inside, little backdoor left hand, and it goes for Marcus Arnold.
Yeah, it's time for Nick Smith to step up. You've got Augustine hurt with an ankle. He's got to play some good minutes. He struggled against UIC. He's got to come in and get out of this funk. Just play hard. Don't worry about all the other stuff offensively.
Powell kicks it out to D. Brown. D. Brown, the 4th consecutive Illinois player to receive preseason Big Ten Player of the Year honors. Following Corey Bradford, Frank Williams, and Brian Cook. Inside, Powell spins. And he almost finished that one, showing some strength.
Now, that's the difference between a guy who's a freshman and maybe an upperclassman. He's got that upper body to try to finish that shot off.
So 15:57 to go in the second half here from Champaign. Illinois State still holding on to the lead, albeit narrow. 39-37. Marcus Arnold averaging 15. He has 9 thanks to that bucket right there. No wonder we have another sellout crowd here at Assembly Hall. They start very, very young, becoming an Illinois fan. 39-37, the Fighting Illini ranked number 19, trailing Illinois State, who led the nation, incidentally, in three-point shooting last year, despite the 8-21 finish.
And that guy right there, Greg Alexander, 3 for 5 from behind that three-point line. So if you're Illinois, you got to know where he is, especially when the ball goes inside. Arnold's looking for him in the perimeter. He struggled against Southern Illinois, 0 from 6 from the three-point line, but he's not struggling today.
Powell gets inside with the equalizer again as Powell picks up his 9th point, averages 14.
And I know it doesn't look real pretty on television, but Illinois needs to get the ball inside. They just need to be patient, take advantage of what they've got inside. Even with Augustine on the bench, they still have that ability to get the ball inside.
Alexander had the open look, didn't go down. Here comes D. Brown. Finds the open Luther Head. And Head shooting for his 4th three-point play. And they say that touched the top of the backboard. I'm not so sure the Illinois fans agree with that. But nonetheless, we're coming back the other way. Illinois State basketball. That guy doesn't believe it.
No, he's taking the jacket off. We're in the second half. 15 minutes to go. It's a tied ball game.
Might have touched the clock.
Yeah, it touched the clock. And from our angle, you can see a little bit better. No question. And we've got a ball game right here. The Redbirds are playing hard, and their confidence is up.
Tied at 39. Illinois can take the lead. Williams gave them the lead twice in the first half. There's Williams. Hop, skip, and the jump. A little bit too strong. Nice move, though.
That looked like an NBA move right there. I was looking for a travel call. There was nothing there.
And count that one. Vince Green now. His first bucket of the second half, his second of the ball game.
I mean, right now he is playing a solid ball game for the point guard for the Redbirds. He's handling the block. He's D. Brown, Darren Williams, Luther Head. They're all trying to wear him out. And he's lucky to weigh 155 pounds there, and he's holding up pretty good right now.
Well, he was runner-up in the Catholic League in Chicago for Player of the Year honors. Andre Brown, who's now at DePaul, beat him out. There's the pick. Alexander gets it to go, and he has a chance for the three-point play.
These guys are not going to go away. Alexander has come out and ready to play today. Portomozo's got these guys mentally ready. They're not intimidated, and they have really played well here. Again, cross-court pass, great anticipation by Alexander, and he's just playing a whale of a game so far.
Strong finish, too. He knew the foul was coming. And he finished it. He has 13 now with a chance for 14. He played for his dad, Neil, in Lincoln, Illinois, 2,000-point scorer. He has 14. That's pretty good considering the last 7 games, Doug. He was shooting 29%. He was 11 of 38 coming in.
I mean, the Redbirds are just executing, shooting 56% so far in the game, and they've only got 7 turnovers, and they're just doing all the little things right now. And you can just see this team's confidence is just rising after every possession.
Augustine doesn't go down with the left-handed hook. 44-39. Redbirds with a chance to build on the lead now.
Yeah, good look by Illinois. They weren't able to convert it, but Augustine, they get what they want, just not able to put it down.
Finding a line now. Watching.
Wow, this is unbelievable. They are on fire.
So Goodry knocks down his 29th three of the season. The former NC State sharpshooter.
I mean, they're playing with emotion right now. This is a tough shot, and boom. Open for a split second. He knocks it down.
Had some great elevation on that three. 47 now, 39, Illinois State. The Redbirds of Illinois State on top of the big boys of the state, 47-39. Now, Guidry was 2 of 14 against Southern Illinois. Greg Alexander, 11 of 38 over his last 7 ball games. Picked a good time, Doug, to warm up here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're on a run, Illinois State. Tremendous confidence. Illinois turns the basketball over. Again, 15-4 last 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So, boy, these guys are playing impressive minutes so far. I mean, they've played a great game.
8-0 over the last minute.
And you figure at halftime, I mean, with the timeout there, Illinois come out a little bit sharper execution-wise, and they turn the ball over again.
Looking inside for Eccles. Eccles started his college career at Missouri. Guidry started at North Carolina State. Down to 3 on the shot clock. On the baseline, the little runner doesn't go. Didn't touch iron. So there's a shot clock violation. We're coming back the other way.
And Mike, that's what this team needs. They need to play good, solid defense. The fans applaud them there. And that's what, but they cannot trade three-point baskets with the Redbirds. They've got to get it down and dirty, get it inside, play good, solid defense on the other end, get back in this game.
And another turnover. Here come the Redbirds now. Can't score if you miss the opportunity. Strong finish that time by Chris Burris.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Smith's got to figure out whether he wants to be out there or not. He's turning the basketball over, going through the motions. He's got to play a little bit tougher, a little more tenacity.
Here's McBride, the freshman, who's really been playing lights out. McBride has yet to score here today. D. Brown off the dribble. He's fouled. He'll be going to the line.
And that was a tough shot. I mean, nothing's coming easy for Illinois on the offensive end. Redbirds doing a good job staying at home, not going for the, not going for the steals as much, playing at home now with the lead up by 10.
L.T. Brown at the stripe. It's 49-39. Largest lead since it was 15-5, now 49-40. As D. Brown picks up his 6th point. Fighting Illini of Illinois closing out the non-conference schedule. Losses to Providence and North Carolina in the Big Ten ACC Challenge.
Right now, the key for Illinois, I think, is Roger Powell. They got to get him the basketball, but make him something happen offensively. He can get to that basket, create some havoc defensively for the Redbirds.
Kicks it out. Guidry, open three.
Wow. I mean, that's good defense. Great distribution of the basketball, and Guidry is feeling it.
Brown comes right back and answers. So a couple of free throws and a field goal back-to-back. Buckets more or less. 9 points for Brown. 52-43. It's a 9-point game. The last three put Guidry in double figures. Last touch by Illinois. So it stays Redbird basketball. But Trey Guidry, who had 63 of the trays last year for the Redbirds, knocks down another one, 52-43. Back in Assembly Hall, the president there of the Illinois States all smiles as his team leads 52-43 with 11:21 to go in the ball game. Illinois trying to make it 5 straight. Illinois State trying to snap a 2-game skid. They get it into their big score now. Guidry finds the open guy. Burris scores again. He's got a couple of buckets this half. 54-43, up to 11 now.
I mean, if you're playing defense, you got to know where Guidry is. And Randall, who's a freshman, is guarding him, but you cannot let him get open like that. He does a good job of taking it to the hole, and everybody's conversion on him, and it'll get that open guy along the post.
You know, Guidry, as Bob Gibbons said, is probably the best pure shooter coming out in high school. I wonder if his dad was a big fan, and that's why they named him Trey. I mean,
hey, if you're named Trey, you got to shoot the three, right?
Yeah, you have to. T-R-E-Y. And he can light it up from three-point territory. Another three right now might be very dangerous to Illinois' health now as we approach the 10-minute mark. 54-43. Boy, D. Brown really putting a stop on defensively. Porter Moser trying to become the first coach and player to win conference championships in the Missouri Valley Conference. Let's take a look at the balanced stats flash.
Again, we talk about the second half. It's Illinois State continuing with the hot shooting. They shot 54% in the first half. And the key stat there is those three-point field goals. Illinois State 3 for 5. And Mike, like you said, one of the best in the country behind that three-point line. Illinois, after going 5 for 10 in the first half, they're struggling behind that three-point line.
We're in Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois, the home of the Fighting Illini. Illinois entertaining the Redbirds of Illinois State. Alongside Doug Altenberger, I'm Mike Gleason. Certainly delighted to have you with us this afternoon. And it's been a very entertaining basketball game right now, especially if you're a Redbird fan. And you got to think of Roger Powell's dad's probably sitting at home watching this ball game with mixed feelings. Of course, he starred at Illinois State.
Well, we know who Mom's rooting for. She's got the jersey on. There's no question there. But
Burris goes high for the rebound on the offensive end. And the jump ball, possession arrow, points this way, so we keep it down on Illinois State territory. There's Rogers' mother. So she's all Fighting Illini. And Dad, of course. I like what his dad said in a recent article, saying that he doesn't go to all the games because he doesn't need his son knowing that Dad's breathing down his neck. I really respected that statement.
I want to tell you, Roger Powell is a class kid. I mean, he is what you see is what you get. He works very hard, goes to class. I mean, just a well-rounded kid. He's not a kid, but Roger and his mom ought to be very proud of him. He's represents the University of Illinois very well.
Dad said that when he first started teaching him how to play basketball, he used the word tender with him. And Roger Jr., the son, said, "Hey, Dad, you got to be tough with me." And so he broke his nose one time. And you come home, and how do you answer the missus when your son comes in with a broken nose? He's going to have to be a good basketball player. I love the way he finished too. Last year, you shot 64% in conference games, and the coaching staff they kind of looked at him as a tweener too with his size. He plays his heart out. Augustine with the left hand doesn't go down, but he's fouled.
Yeah, there's a good example of Illinois being patient offensively, not looking to shoot that quick jump shot from the perimeter. They get what they want, get the ball inside. Arnold, who got in foul trouble early, And the Redbirds doing a little better job defensively, being very consistent. When you talked about Mike, Porter Moser's done a good job with a game plan, and I think defensively he's gotten the most out of this young Redbird team, and he just needs a 9.5 more minutes to go. And defensively, whether his team can hold up under the physical pounding Illinois has given him so far.
Augustine with 4 double-doubles this year. That's only his 4th point now. We're inside 10 minutes of the ball game. And it's catch-up time now for D. Brown and company. And defense is going to have to be the name of the game for the Fighting Illini now with 9:26 to go.
And there is an example of Nick Smith, 7'2", tallest guy on the floor, able to steal the ball and looks for D. Brown, cut to the basket. And maybe this is the spark that Illinois needs here to get going. And so far, they've been pretty flat in the game. Energy-wise, you've got to give the edge to Illinois State.
So Brown, who had 47 against Lithuania this summer, also averaged 22 on the Scandinavian tour. He's in double figures with 10. Comes in averaging about 12 points a ball game. Boy, last year in conference games in the Big Ten, he had 76 assists, only 25 turnovers. And that in itself is impressive, but the fact that he's a rookie point guard in the Big Ten is really impressive.
Well, and in the second part of the Big Ten season, there was nobody more clutch cargo than this guy. I mean, when Illinois needed a big bucket, D. Brown would step up.
And speaking of stepping up, he has 11 points, 6 of the 11 coming in the second half now for Bruce Weber. 54-47, 9-17 and counting. Well, D. Brown's locked up now on Trey Guidry. Remember last year he locked up guys like Daniel Horton, Raymond Felton of North Carolina. Well, in fact, he was the first Illinois rookie to win Big Ten Player of the Week honors. And we're down to 7 again. Tough time getting that offense going, but Arnold's there for the slam.
I mean, Vince Green is just playing a monster of a game. You're going to look Sunday open the sports page, and you're going to see only maybe 1 or 2 buckets, but this guy has really done a good job offensively handling the rock for his team.
So with 8.5 minutes to go, good test here for Illinois as far as facing adversity. Good double team down on the low block to Augustine. Good swing around. Luther Head a little bit shy. There's the 5'9". Vince Green to pull it down for Illinois State.
And the Redbirds playing great defense. Ball goes in the post to do a good job of collapsing, but then they spread it out, and they're going to give up that 3-point shot right now until Illinois can knock it down.
And of course, Illinois State, no hurry. They got to work looking for Arnold inside, but every second.
Another tough shot. This guy's putting on an exhibit down low. I mean, he's just, facial.
13 now for Arnold. He had double figures in his first 7 games, but not in his last 2. So the last couple of ball games, the entire team has really struggled getting the ball to go down. Nick Smith there for the 7-2.
Nick throws it down with some authority right now. Green for the Redbirds trying to slow his team down a little bit offensively.
58-49, but they've been trading buckets. Illinois needs a run. Arnold. Almost got it to go down. Strong shot. Eccles is there. It goes off his foot. It's Illinois basketball.
Timeout on the floor.
There's a timeout on the floor. 7:15 to go in the ball game. 58-49. As the Redbirds of Illinois State weaving through traffic, Marcus Arnold hasn't reached his average yet, but they have the lead. Well, the Orange Crush still on their feet, but only 7:15 to go, and Illinois trailing Illinois State at this juncture, 58-49. Most of the games, well, all but one, played right here in Champaign. Illinois leading 6-0, but there's always that time for a first. And right now, the Redbirds could be 7 minutes and 12 seconds away.
Yeah, Illinois hasn't lost a non-Big Ten game in the state school since 1990. It was against UIC, so consecutive game streak of 29 wins is at risk right now.
Yeah, heck, you go back the last 3 years in this building, they're 43-1. The only team to beat Illinois was Michigan State back in 2002, and last year you saw Illinois hold Michigan State to 40 points here.
Oh, that was a big bucket for Illinois. Darren Williams answered the call in the first half. He steps up and hits a big bucket for him.
He has 11 in the ball game, down to 6 now. See if the Redbirds can answer as Illinois pushes that defense, or the defense pushing that offense further out on the floor. So it's up to the 5'9", Vince Green. To get this Redbird offense in motion. Guidry thought about it.
Well, good defense by Illinois.
Down to 4 again, and Alexander knew the shot clock was down to 3, took his eyes off the basketball and caromed off his hands. So 58-52. Very quickly, other scores. Syracuse beating Michigan State for the 2nd straight year. Wisconsin all over Charleston now in the 2nd half. Missouri on top of Iowa, that one in Missouri. Of course, Illinois with a victory over Missouri this year. Augustine. Powell was down on the baseline. Wanted the backdoor cut. He was wide open. Augustine didn't see him. So now Illinois down to 6 on their shot clock. Darren Williams will have to create off the dribble. Bring it up.
Another
the sophomore from Texas. 14.
Wow. 21 days off. You wouldn't know. He just steps up and hits 2 big buckets for Illinois back to back.
Down 4. Guidry deep.
Oh, another. That was a huge 3. He hit that from the bench. Boy, both teams really playing well down the stretch.
And you didn't even have to pay to get in this.
Oh, that was a tough shot.
And Green comes up with a basketball.
Boy, he's played great defense on D. Brown, too. I mean, he has really played one heck of a game.
And now we're inside 5 minutes, 61-54. Vince Green trying to get it inside to Arnold. Arnold puts the ball on the floor.
Wow.
Off the glass. Arnold scores again. He has 15 points, but it's 63-54. Back to 9 for Porter Moser.
And Augustine's got 3 fouls. Arnold knows that. He's going to attack him, and Augustine's got to give ground. Someone's got to help him out when the ball goes inside.
Williams off the dribble.
Well, who's going to make that one?
I thought it was going in at first, too. 63-54. Let's get back to the Big Ten Conference now. Indiana closes out their non-conference schedule with a loss in Bloomington, losing to Temple by 9. Penn State failing Bucknell by 2. And, of course, the Big Ten season getting ready to rev up.
And you know what? The Big Ten hasn't done too well today. Might be a bad omen for Illinois. Michigan State losing, and, well, Wisconsin's up, but...
Darren Williams knocks down both, so he has 16. He averaged just under 13 points a game before breaking his jaw in the 7th game of the season. Augustine checks out. So now, fighting Illini at 4:28, going with Brown and Williams in the backcourt. Powell, Smith, and Luther Head on the front line. Look at the three-point shooting now. 6 of 11 on foreign territory.
Bruce Weber takes out Augustine. Augustine's got 3 fouls and rotates Smith down on Arnold, who's only got 2 fouls. Look for Augustine to go back in on offense.
There's a double dribble. Costly turnover for the Redbirds. And Porter Moser says, hey, that's okay, guys. Up 63-56. Let's go down, play some tough defense.
Then if you're Illinois, you want to get that ball into the hot man's hands, and that's this guy right here, Darren Williams.
Saw the numbers there with turnovers. Both teams doing a great job protecting the basketball up to this point. Head with the crossover, and the runner on the baseline is not going to go. And they whistled before the shot. It would have been waved off anyway, but Luther Head is going to the free throw line.
Boy, Powell was wide open down low. Luther had the edge on him, but I'd like to see him get some touches inside.
Timeout on the floor. Trey Guidry, the one-time NC State sharpshooter, is ringing it out from deep. Guidry with 13, 63-56 Redbirds. 3:50 left in the ball game. Illinois State on top, 63-56, and they continue to shoot the rock very well.
Yeah, there you see 60% for the game, 54 and in the second half. I mean, I don't think I've seen a team play this well in the Assembly Hall in a long time. I mean, Illinois State, I don't know what's been happening those first 9 games, but boy, they have just played with tremendous courage this afternoon.
Last game for Illinois They pulled out 52 rebounds. It was a plus 16 margin. Right now they're getting out rebounded. Darren Williams taking things into his own hands. 18 now for the sophomore from Texas. And it's a 5-point game with 3:34 to go.
Right here, they've got to get some stops and play good, sound, fundamental defense. Don't take too many gambles or risks out there.
You saw the numbers in the paint.
Arnold is just working over Smith. I mean, great clear out. I mean, he's just, going into the woodshed and just wearing out Nick Smith. This was, he just moves him out. 6'8", 240 pounds, and he finishes it off. That's quite impressive for the sophomore.
He has 3 20-point efforts already this year. This free throw would give him 18 for the ball game. So he's stuck on 17. It's a 7-point deficit for Illinois.
We talked in the open. Everything flows through him. He was able to dominate inside, and that opened up the perimeter. And right now, he is playing with just a lot of confidence.
Roger Powell feels like he's open down in the paint. Nick Smith gets it from 16, a little bit shy. Keeps it alive with a rebound. Wow. A chance for the 3-point play.
The Redbirds come out, switch defenses, go to a zone, surprise Illinois. Probably they wanted the guy to shoot the shot. They got to shoot it with Smith, but no one blocks out. That's what happens when you play a zone. You got to match up. No one puts a body on him. And Smith able to go for the 3-point play right now. Big free throw for Illinois right now.
One-time Florida Player of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year. That's 86% from the line last year. There's his numbers so far this season.
He's played some huge minutes down the stretch against the Missouri Tigers down in St. Louis. So he knows when it's crunch time. He's got the confidence to come through, and the Assembly Hall is coming to its feet.
Inside 3 minutes, 4-point ball game. We were tied at 32 at halftime. Guidry out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's had the hot hand. Looking inside. Smith hanging on. There's the whistle. No whistle. They thought there was a whistle down low. Seemed like play froze there for a second. Guidry kicks it back, and it goes.
Oh. You had to stay with Guidry. They run a little 2-man game on the wing, and Arnold delivers.
Six-point game. Head almost threw it away.
Now, too much one-on-one right there. They got to get some ball rotation, put some pressure defensively on the Redbirds.
Definitely looking for Darren Williams.
Oh, this guy is coming up big for Illinois.
That 3 gives them 21. Or they give him a 2. That was a 3. 67-64. So 21 for the ball game now for the 6'3" sophomore out of the Colony, Texas.
Both teams just stepping up and hitting big shot after big shot. For Illinois, it has been all Darren Williams here. He comes off that screen, sizes up, goes right up over the top. He's 6'4". Good defense by the Redbirds. Guidry stays with them right there, and there's nothing he can do. Quick release, and he sets his feet. But both teams just clutch right now, coming down the stretch. All of them hitting big shots. For the Redbirds, it's been Arnold. And for Illinois, it's been Williams.
43-1 over the last 3 years. As we mentioned, Michigan State, the only team to come in here and win in the last 3 seasons. Boy, Darren Williams playing for Team USA was #1 in assists. But boys, he really looks like a big-time scorer here today. He had 22 against North Carolina in that loss in Greensboro. He has 21 here this afternoon, but his team trails by 3 with a minute 45 to go.
Right now, Illinois just got to find a way to stop Arnold. Arnold has been really the guy that they've had a hard time shutting down. Illinois State will back it back out, and they'll be very patient, and they're going to try to get the ball inside to number 21.
9 on the shot clock now for Illinois State. Alexander thought about it. Instead, he put the ball on the floor. Way too high, but there's Arnold again with the rebound. Stolen by Illinois. Head. Ops skipping a jump. He's in the lane. He scores. We've got a 1-point game. Head has 15 in the ball game. And Porter Moser wants to call a timeout and talk things over. 67-66.
Yeah, you see the ball reversal, good pressure, good patience by Illinois. Head able to split the defense, goes up. One of the few times that they've been able to get to the basket from the top of the key or from the wing. Good collapsing defenses by Redbirds here in the second half. And finally get a good look, and Luther Head delivers. Just a big basket for Illinois after playing great defense down the other end. Arnold almost able to get that ball back in there, but good collapsing defense by Illinois.
Back to live action, 1-point game. 61 seconds to go. Eccles not comfortable dribbling that ball up the court for Illinois State. Vince Green stolen away by Illinois. 51 seconds to go. Illini hoping to close out the non-conference season with 5 straight victories. They've trailed most of the way here. They still trail by 1. Williams off the dribble, looking inside for Augustine. There's the whistle. It goes against Illinois. It's an offensive foul with only 36 seconds to go.
Wow, what a huge charge that was. I mean, he steps up. Williams looks to try to dish it to Augustine, able to get in, sneak in there, and he goes up. Looks like he was moving a little bit, but does a good job of staying parallel and gets the, there you see full contact there. Good call by the official.
Eccles will inbound. Finding a line with 36 seconds to go. Illinois on a 14-4 run. And they pick up the defense full courts, but the Redbirds want to use another timeout. Porter Moser, after 3 years at Arkansas Little Rock, trying to get things going at Illinois State. Went through a 8-21 year last season. Of course, Porter Moser not there last year. Once again, the last time they beat a ranked opponent back in 1987.
And that was an excellent basketball team, Iowa. They had Roy Marble, Ed Horton, and they were loaded. And, I mean, went in there and just did a great job of winning that basketball game. But here, I tell you, they have played a one heck of a game, the Redbirds. I mean, defensively, very sound, offensively.
So Illinois with 2 timeouts remaining. Illinois State with 160 left. 36 seconds left. Craig Guidry had a horrendous shooting day against Southern Illinois. Shot lights out here in Champaign. He has 13.
Now, Illinois has a foul to give right now, so if the ball goes in bounds, they won't want to foul. Once it goes in bounds, they want to foul immediately.
No, the foul goes on Vince Green. Or it goes on Dee Brown, I should say, and Vince Green.
Now, the next foul, they'll go to the bonus, 1-1.
And Vince Green, if this was a bonus situation, keep in mind, Green shooting 83% from the stripe so far this year. 1 second. As he clips from the clock there, 35, and Dee Brown again on Green. As they move into the bonus situation now, Green will go to the line, shooting 83%. So Dee Brown picks up number 4 and 34 seconds now. As Illinois desperately wants that basketball back. So Vince Green grew up in Chicago, 5'9" senior. His high game since wearing the Redbird uniform was 29 against Bradley last year, but he has 4 this afternoon, but he's done so much in so many different ways.
Well, Bruce Weber calling for a timeout, going to freeze Vince Green, try to make him think about the free throws. Okay, for Illinois, for Illinois State, it's a 1-1. So you make sure, if you're Illinois, you got to block out. That's the first thing you got to do. Right now, Bruce Weber's talking about, okay, off a miss, we want to come down and run this. Off a made shot, come down, we're going to run that. And so he's going to go through that. But right now, he's stressing to his guys, Mike, we've got to block out, get that rebound. You'd be amazed how many times that happens. Ball goes up, guys want to run a play, want to run something on the offensive end, they forget about the defensive end.
And keep in mind, too, Illinois State, even though they're shooting lights out in the first half, they're only 4 of 9 from the stripe and missing a couple of opportunities in the bonus situation. So now the Fighting Illini of Illinois with 34.9 left.
Yeah, and Illinois needs not to panic on the offensive end. They've got 35 seconds to go, and even if Green makes both these free throws, they're only down by 3.
Green, the 5'9" senior, 83%, knocks it in, his 5th point. And it's a 2-point game, 68-66. Boy, Porter Moser, if he can hold on to this would be a huge win for him in his first year. He misses the second. Rebound, Brown. Down 2, 30 seconds to go. Luther head. Williams coming off the screen. Doesn't go. Rebound. Smith. He is pushed, and Nick Smith will be going to the line.
It just seems like Nick Smith is always in the middle of it. Great job. Great job by Augustine to keep that ball alive. And he tips it to Nick Smith. And he steps up for 2 free throws to try to tie this basketball game.
So Bruce Weber has watched his 7'2" junior score 5 of his 7 points in the second half. 72% shooter from the stripe. Chance to tie the ball game. The junior out of Florida already has his degree in finance in 3.5 years, which is very impressive. And he'd love to impress the Illini faithful with a couple of free throws right here.
I mean, these are big free throws for Illinois stepping up. Now, even if he does miss these, they can come down. And very quickly you want to foul. I mean, the clock right now is your friend. And so you've got 18 seconds. So either way, if he misses one or the last one, he's got 2 here. Illinois wants to foul immediately.
Yeah, your options. Green, 83%. Guidry shooting 93% from the line. Marcus Arnold only 68%. With the kind of day he's having, not sure you want to put him on the line either.
You assume if you're going to miss a free throw with the big guys, you're going to rebound it. So those are the 2 guys you want to foul real quickly.
Smith, it's the first.
He's solid there. Great rotation. Steps up, nothing but strength.
Well, Mr. Smith had that huge assist in the Missouri game when he found Roger Powell down the stretch. Gave Illinois a 69-67 lead, and right now, the junior with a chance to tie the game at 68. But he didn't look nervous at all.
No, he did not at all. Now, right now, Porter Moser's going through. Okay, if Illinois makes this, whatever you do, don't cough it up. I mean, the worst thing you can do is not get a shot off, and you're going into overtime. Illinois, on the other hand, Bruce Weber's telling his guys here. You see the reset. Illinois' got 160. You've got fouls right now. Everybody's still in the bonus. And if you're Illinois, on the other hand, and Bruce Weber, what you're trying to do is say, okay, play good, solid defense. Don't gamble. Whatever you do, stay at home. Don't double team. Don't go for the steal. Play good, solid defense. And if they make a tough shot, they make a tough shot.
Illinois trying to close out the non-conference season with a victory. It would be 5 straight. Keep in mind that Michigan State, Indiana both losing already today. And in 6 tries, Illinois State has never beaten Illinois. So that would be a first in itself.
Well, if you're Illinois State, you definitely want to get the ball into the guys who are hot. And inside Arnold, if he doesn't have it, then you've got to look for Alexander on the perimeter. Look at me, he's been really hot behind the 3-point line.
Those are the field goals in the first half. Illinois State 15 of 22. And Illinois over 50% now in the second half. Nick Smith, though, at the stripe. Looked like he had ice water in his veins. The first free throw. This is for the tie now with 18.1 left. 7'2" junior knocks them both down. He has 9. We're tied at 68. Redbirds have the basketball.
And they've got no timeout.
Vince Green on D. Brown. Good matchup right here. Both grew up in the state of Illinois. Going inside to Marcus Arnold. Arnold puts the ball on the floor. Puts it up. Misfires this time. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Illinois State. It's Illinois basketball with 4.7 on the clock. At worst, the Fighting Illini could be heading for overtime, and I say that because they have trailed for most of the ball game, Doug.
I think the 16,000 are in the Assembly Hall all just took a deep breath because Arnold, who has delivered the whole game, gets the ball. The Illinois State gets what they want, and fortunately, he's able. The first time he's missed in about 20 minutes, but they get the shot, they get the look that they want, and so Coach Moser's got to be, excited from that regard. And on the other end, Illinois now 4.7 seconds. That's a long time, Mike, to get a shot on.
Illinois did a good job with some help defense that time of the weak side because Smith looked like he spun around him. He's been getting around Nick Smith for most of the day. Now Augustine got in there and got a hand in his face.
Well, that was the key because he did get around Smith, and there was no one there to help out. Augustine slips over to help out, and fortunately for Illinois, again, the sophomore steps up and able Arnold to alter his shot, which he just comes up short.
And like you said, you can't fault Marcus Arnold for taking the shot, even though it's a little step back, because he's had a great day in his own right, scoring 19 points. He's pretty much had his own way in the paint. Seen the numbers throughout the broadcast. The Redbirds owning the paint here on the road in Big Ten territory.
Yeah, if you're Illinois, you want to get it into Darren Williams' hands. I mean, he has really come through down the stretch here with some just big buckets behind the three-point line. Illinois State here want to play good token defense. Not full court, more like three-quarters. Pick them up, nothing easy. Right, Illinois work some time off that clock.
Luther head to Smith. 3 seconds to go. D. Brown with one. There's the shot.
It's good.
Look good from here. Goes off, and we are headed for overtime. So Illinois State at 4-5. Illinois at 8-2. They played 40 minutes, and 40 minutes isn't enough to decide it. So now the big question is, we asked when it was tied at 32, can Illinois State sustain for 40 minutes? Can they drum up enough energy now to keep the momentum going into overtime?
Well, and Illinois State's got to be concerned about foul trouble. There you see a great sequence. They get the shot that they want. From this angle, looked like it was dead on, but a little strong.
It was close, no doubt about that. So we're going to play an extra 5 minutes here in this in-state battle, as Illinois State will have to go another 5 minutes if they're going to find out if they can beat the Fighting Illini for the first time in the history of their program.
Well, Illinois State, I mean, they couldn't have played much better so far, almost shooting 60% from the field, over 50% behind the three-point line. They out-rebound Illinois. I mean, they basically have done everything they can, and only where they didn't beat them was in the score at end of regulation, 68-68. But the Redbirds know what they could have to do. They got to get the ball inside to Arnold, and he's played the whole second half with only 3 fouls, and so Illinois want to attack him, try to get the ball inside, get him in foul trouble.
I made a trip to Champaign in September, and it seems Illinois State in football had a good ball game, gave Illinois all they could handle on the gridiron, and now here we are heading for overtime. Deadlocked at 68. It'll be interesting to see if Trey Guidry gets many touches or if they continue to pound the ball inside to Marcus Arnold, who has 19 in regulation. Guidry with 13.
Well, if you're Bruce Weber and their staff at Illinois, you're just saying, hey, let's forget about the last 40 minutes. This game has come down to 5 minutes. It's execution on the half-court sets. It's playing good, sound defense, and someone's got to shut down Marcus Arnold for the Redbirds.
First overtime game for the Fighting Illini since January 2001 when Penn State pushed Illinois in overtime. Illinois won that one 95-88. Luther head. Darren Williams misfires. Williams follows it. Finds Nick Smith. He's fouled. Nick Smith might wind up getting the game ball before all is said and done.
The big fella has woken, and he has come to play here in the overtime.
Great job.
Great hustle by Williams to keep that alive. Great pump fake. And Nick Smith able to use that upper body strength and finish it off.
Williams with 21 off the bench. A lot of players, any league, any school, a lot of players would have taken the shot and just whatever happened, but he followed his shot, did a great job of keeping that alive as Nick Smith caps out the three-point play, gives him 12, and now Illinois with a 3-point lead. 71-68. Dilligard looking back door to Arnold. A little bit too much mustard on that pass. Goes out of bounds. Illinois basketball. It's all about composure now.
Exactly. And Illinois State's done a good job, but you're in overtime. And now everything's compressed. And a tough pass by Dilligard. You want to get the ball inside, but good defense by Illinois.
Good ball movement. Luther head. Kicks it out. D. Brown deep in the corner. Bring that one up. That's a big three. He has 14 in the game now.
Well, all you have to do when you see D. Brown is look at that rotation of the basketball, whether it's going to go in or not. Big buckets by the sophomore.
Boy, you got that one nailed because in the first half he had no rotation on the ball, huh?
Yeah, you could see it. You can see it when he releases it. Big bucket when it is fighting the lineup.
Arnold wants to come back. It's rejected and it still goes. 21 now for Arnold.
He's put on a human highlight film for the Redbirds. He has truly been amazing. And he's doing this against veterans in the Big Ten.
I'm not sure if that wasn't deflected twice.
Oh, wow.
Williams coming off the screen now. 74-70. Inside could be. Missed the bunny. Luther Head, who has 15. He's going to be thinking about that one, win or lose here this afternoon. That would have put the Fighting Illini up 6 now as we approach the 3-minute mark in overtime. Ooh, a lot of traffic. Almost a turnover there with the Redbirds. It's amazing what some good defense will do, huh? Arnold says, I'll take it. This one from 18 doesn't go. Augustine clears. Darren Williams, the 6'3 sophomore with 21, slowly bringing it up with a 4-point lead. And Greg Alexander, good baseline defense, and Redbirds have the basketball right back. So missed opportunity that time by Illinois. What? First option. Continue to look inside to Arnold, don't they?
Yeah, he's someone to knock down a three.
There's Arnold. Oh, Illinois fans thought he walked with the basketball. There's the call.
Yeah, they're getting tired right now. You can see it. Their legs. Again, Illinois' depth starting to wear them down, and they're just bringing fresh bodies in. Nick Smith gets a standing ovation. He just played some monster minutes down the stretch for Illinois.
Hit those 2 big free throws. Winds up with 12. He tied it in regulation at 68. Yeah, the last call was a good one, but I thought it was a late whistle. I thought maybe the Orange Crush might have influenced the whistle. Good defense. Boy, they're giving 110%. They continue to do so. Alexander comes up. They had some numbers, but he's going to pull it out. Here comes Arnold. He says, give it to me one more time. Little push with the shoulder. Doesn't go. Rebound. Redbirds. Alexander from 3. Too strong. Green runs it down. Powell comes up with the basketball. 1:15 to go. D. Brown. Oh, took too much off of that one. Boy, there is a battle going on out there. I'd like to just turn up the Nat sound, and you can hear the bumping and grinding and the ball and the feet.
Yeah, both these teams, I mean, they have really sold out. They're giving a tremendous amount of effort. And the Redbirds right now, they're an exhausted group of guys. They don't have the depth that Illinois does, and playing on the road, and you know, Illinois keeps throwing that defensive pressure at you. You can see right now they missed some shots that they were making in regulation, and everybody is tugging on their shorts right now. Both teams have just tremendous effort this afternoon.
Augustine averaging about 9 rebounds, 6 rebounds here this afternoon. 5 points now in the ball game.
I'm just tired looking at these guys. It's a little warm out. I mean, for January, it's about 50 degrees out, and it is warm here in the Assembly Hall.
And 22 of 24, make it 23 of 25. 6 points now, so Bruce Weber says, hey, we might have beaten North Carolina if we hit some free throws. Can't argue with those numbers here this afternoon. Plus the fact that they trailed for most of the ball game. I don't know. Looking for some silver lining besides the victory. It might be good that they were forced to face some adversity here before the Big Ten season started. Guidry shot the air ball on the 3. And the officials are going to confer who touched it last. Illinois touched it. It stays with the Redbirds. 47 seconds to go. Bruce Weber looking for his 112th victory as a head coach. He is 9th here in Champaign. Defense. Good stop that time by Darren Williams. Last touch by Vince Green. And now Porter Moser knows there's only 40 seconds left. And they're down by a couple of threes. 2-possession ball game, but Illinois has the ball. In no hurry to shoot the rock. There's a reach, and D. Brown will be going to the line.
Yeah, Illinois State in regulation did a great job of handling the basketball. Here in overtime, you can tell they just got tired in their legs. Shots weren't going down like they did earlier, and also their decision making. Sometimes when you get tired out there, you make bad decisions. Illinois, when you give a great team like Illinois a second chance, just like anything, they always seem to respond, and Illinois did.
So D. Brown, 9 of his 14 points have come after halftime.
Back in for the Illini, replacing Nick Smith.
Nick Smith goes out again. Roger Powell back on the floor for the Fighting Illini. D. Brown, the 6-foot sophomore from Maywood, now with 15 points, and it's a 7-point game. Redbirds have to score, and they have to score quick. And we're talking 3 balls here. Guidry coming off the screen, got the look, count it. Trey Guidry now with 16 points in the game. And we've got a 4-point ball game. 77-73.
This is a full timeout.
Now the Redbirds, even though they're tired, they're not going to go away. I mean, it was a big 3. Keep them in the ball game with 24 seconds to go. They've got to foul quickly and hope that Illinois will miss some free throws down the stretch. But if Illinois goes on to win this game, boy, Bruce Weber and his staff got to look back and give a little sigh of relief. I mean, Illinois State played the perfect ball game. I mean, the only thing they didn't do is shoot their free throws, 6 for 13 from behind from the charity line. But other than that, they top to bottom, they played a great game and almost snuck this one out of here come Assembly Hall. Especially since they struggled with their shot against Southern Illinois. They shot the 3, they followed the game plan, got the ball in the paint down to Marcus Arnold. So Illinois now with 1:30 left, with 24 seconds left in the first overtime here from Champaign, Illinois. And that's the one thing about college basketball. I mean, there is tremendous parity. I mean, there is no outstanding teams maybe 10 years ago where you had 2-3 guys that were going to go to the NBA that are on a team. That just is not the case anymore. And so you've got to come out every day, every night, and ready to play basketball. And it wasn't like Illinois wasn't, but I thought Illinois really sucked it up the last 10 minutes and played good, solid defense and just hit some big buckets down the stretch just to give them a chance to win or tie in regulation. I mean, they played a perfect game.
You talk about parity, too. Just condense that down to the Big Ten Conference. Of course, it's a battle every year for the conference championship. But this year, it's really hard to put a finger on any one team that might be the front runner. Free throws for the Fighting Illini, 24 of 27. After an abysmal showing in the Big Ten ACC Challenge from the line against North Carolina, they've really gotten it done in the stripe here today, and it's a good thing for Bruce Weber that they have been hitting their free throws.
Yeah, definitely, because they did not shoot the ball well from the field. They struggled behind the three-point line, only 38%, but the free throw line was the savior today. I mean, they stepped up and hit big free throws, and the hero today is Nick Smith. He really, I mean, struggled in the first half, but in the second half, down the stretch, he was the guy that came through for him.
Williams inbounding with 24 seconds to go. D. Brown will be hammered, intentionally, of course, by Vince Green. not a flagrant, but intentionally obviously wanted to put Brown on the line. So D. Brown heads back to the stripe with 15 points. Only shooting 60% from the charity stripe so far this year.
D. Brown at the line.
Yeah, when you see D. Brown step up, again, you see him at the free throw line, you'll see the rotation on his basketball, and that's the thing. He's got to work on those fundamentals. He goes up, and when he's got good rotation, he's going to get those bounces just like that when it goes in. When he shoots it quick and he sort of shoots that knuckleball, that's when he comes up short, or he had some air balls early in the first half.
So I find that surprising because most good players at this, they shoot the same shot. I'm sure you shot the same shot 99% of the time in college.
But one of the best, Steve Alford. I mean, he struggled his sophomore year offensively, and he had to get back to the basics and shot 1,000 shots.
Guidry downtown. Goes out of bounds. Illinois basketball. 12 seconds now in overtime.
Boy, valiant effort by the Redbirds. They have really, they made this a ball game. It was fun. I mean, and they played great down the stretch. They hit the big buckets. They didn't lose this game. Illinois won it.
And the Fighting Illini of Illinois could have folded their tents, too. I mean, they were down by as many as 11 points with 10 minutes to go in the ball game.
Well, I mean, they were hanging on just barely, just by a thread. And a couple baskets here, a couple big plays by Nick Smith down the stretch, Darren Williams, some steals.
Well, they were 25. I'm sorry, Doug.
Go ahead.
You'll say they're 25-7 last year. Of 160 starts, 90 came from freshmen, 32 from sophomores. So, I mean, it pays off. Experience pays off.
Ryan Randall back on the floor for the Illini. He'll replace Augustine.
Well, we opened the broadcast saying that D. Brown was getting his partner back. And his partner coming off the bench with 21 points in some clutch shots, first and second half. And D. Brown with 16, 11 of his 16 in the second half. Nick Smith with 14 points. 11 seconds to go in overtime, 80-73. Boy, Nick Smith continues to get a nice round of applause like the third time.
Well, he's one of those guys you just, you love him because he's trying so hard out there, and sometimes things just don't go his way.
Well, it was close, a little bit too close for Bruce Weber. But they finish up with the victory in overtime, and they go to 9-2 in the non-conference season. Before we say goodbye and wish everybody a great New Year, your thoughts on this ball game, Doug?
I thought two well-played games. I mean, two teams that played extremely well, and the Redbirds just played down the stretch, just ran out of gas.
D. Brown with 16, and Darren Williams with 21 off the bench. Luther Head with 15, and Nick Smith, the 7'2 junior, with 14. We were tied at 32 at halftime, 68 after regulation. There's your final numbers, 80-73. For Doug Altenberger, our director, Tim Sutton, our producer, Baron Miller. This is Mike Gleason saying so long from Assembly Hall. Final score, Illinois over Illinois State, 80-73. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. That wraps up the non-conference schedule. Up next for Illinois, it's Ohio State on Wednesday.